Howdy folks, BC here. You're watching Deuce and Guns, and today, right now at least, I am headed on my way to the local UPS distribution center to pick up a firearm. Now this is actually the first official antique firearm I've ever purchased, and what's interesting about antique firearms is that if they were built before 1899, then the ATF considers them basically exempt from the background check. So you actually don't have to have a background check. I purchased this from classicfirearm.com. You'll see what I purchased here in a second. And basically what's interesting is that they just ship it to your door. No background check, nothing. And it does take a cartridge. It's not a black powder rifle or pistol at all. Normal cartridge bolt action rifle. Now, being the fact that classicfirearms.com is a professional company and organization, they send firearms requiring an adult signature. So then you don't actually have a rifle or a pistol. Even though it's completely legal to send one straight to your door, they refuse to send it without it requiring an adult signature, so it doesn't get into a kid's hands, or in my case, doesn't get left on the front porch, waiting for me to get home, because I do work long hours. And since I'm not going to be home when the UPS driver drives by, I just always request for them to hold it at their UPS distribution center, and I drive by after work to pick it up. Alrighty folks, we are back from the UPS distribution center with my new antique rifle from classicfirearms.com. I didn't come straight home though. I did go to the shooting range to test out a high capacity magazine. That video is now in the can, and I can focus on my antique rifle. What I'll do is I'll open it up for you guys and I'll show you before I even see it myself. Now, I did splurge and I spent the extra 20 bucks for a hand-picked, which is basically they pull 10 rifles out, put them on a rack, and grab the best one of the bunch. Since I mail ordered this, I really didn't have an option to go in and look at it myself, so hand-picked, it's just like extra little bit extra insurance. Oh, the bluey's nice and dark. Holy crap. Okay, let me wait for my review of this new Leatherman before you buy a new Leatherman. Not yet become a fan. Oh, that's beautiful. That is a beautiful rifle. The wood is in excellent condition. It's a Swiss 1889 rifle. It's what their military carried before they started doing the 6-round magazine in their straight pull. So this is also straight pull, 12-round magazine. Think about that for a second. This was late 1880s. They were using pretty much a bolt action 12-round magazine when the United States was still using single shot rifles. You know, probably chambered in a 45-70. First of all, let's take a look at the actual buttstock. You can see it's got a metal butt plate there, and it actually is, everything is serial numbered. And the butt plate, the stock, and going forward here a little bit, the serial numbers on both the receiver and the barrel match. So all this is matching. The magazine does have a different serial number, but all that lines up and just fits beautifully right there. There is no gap, there is no seam. It just goes straight from wood to metal perfectly. And there's a lot of cartouches here that I will have to do some research on because I have no idea what that is. But there's a lot of interesting history right there, I am sure. And there's your iconic barrel-shaped charging handle right there. And in order to charge the rifle and chamber a cartridge, you just grab it, pull it back, push it forward with your palm, and you are ready to go. Boy, that trigger's good. 120, 130 years old. Trigger's still amazing. 2-stage trigger, so you got a little bit of travel right there for the first stage. I'm going to hold it, of course. And boom. Breaking a glass rod. Beautiful. Awesome. Now let's take a look at that bolt. You'll be surprised how crazy this bolt looks. You open up a little bit, and it comes apart just like a K31.
You push this lever down, and this whole thing comes out. That, my friends, is a bolt. Look at that sucker. Now, contrary to popular belief, this rifle did not shoot black powder cartridges. It actually shot a semi-smokeless powder cartridge, which was much lower velocity than the new cartridge, the 7.5 by 55. Now, it will chamber that new cartridge, but the action is not strong enough to handle the kind of power that the new cartridge has. It actually uses a 7.5 by 53.5 cartridge. That's the one that's intended for it. Of course, that's not available, so you have to make and roll your own. And here's a side view of my new 1889 Swiss rifle. And here's that iconic 12-round box magazine hanging down from the belly of the beast there. And it has, now I don't think all the rifles had these, but there's a magazine cutoff. That's actually engaging the magazine, and to cut off the magazine, you actually push it up. And that actually disengages the magazine where you single feed the action every time. So the normal procedure, normally this would be disengaged and only used in emergency situations only. So the normal operating procedure would be to open up your action, feed a cartridge from your belt, slam it home, and fire. And then eject a round, put a new round in, slam her home, and fire. Only if you were in an ambush situation or just any kind of emergency situation would you actually engage the magazine. Now, that was actually a very common procedure. Lee Enfield, and I believe also Springfields might have had this as well. I know the Lee Enfields had magazine cutoffs. Is very common back in the day. And that was to keep the infantry units from wasting ammunition. Kind of an odd concept today, but back then, that was a big deal. That was thought to be very important. And there is a huge front sight. Now it starts off, let me just zoom you in there a little bit, and you can see you start off at 300 meters. They did not expect you, I guess, to shoot anything less than 300 meters away. Or just close enough that it really doesn't matter. And it graduates all the way up to 2,000 meters. Very ambitious for the time. And now to adjust it, you have these little paws right here. And the sight itself is split and spring-loaded. You can see that right there. So you squeeze it, and the side here actually engages in one of those paws. So to shoot at the 2,000 meter range, that is your sight. That's kind of lobbing them in mortar style, isn't it? Moving on down, and there is the front barrel band, the stacking swivel, and the actual lug for the bayonet. And if you look, the front sight post is not protected at all. It's just out there. It's just a big old blade out there ready to get snagged on a branch. Now just look down the bore, and it's really hard to get a good photo of that, but if you look, that is nice and shiny inside, and it is. It is a shiny, bright, very crisp bore in there. I'm pretty pleased by that. Should be a good shooter once you figure out how to reload for it. As you can tell, I am pleased with this purchase. I think that there's no way that they could provide this level of tolerance and this level of engineering, and everything here is milled out and it's just beautifully done for just a shade over 300 bucks. There's no way a rifle manufacturer today could provide you that kind of engineering for that price. So yes, I am very pleased with this purchase. Well guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like and go and subscribe. There's a lot more on the way. And if you have any comments, questions, or show ideas, leave them in the comment box below the video. And of course, you guys have a great day. See ya.